Today, we're diving into a really powerful framework for personal transformation, drawing from the teachings of Apostle Joshua Selman. It's all about moving beyond just wishing for a different future, and instead, learning how you can actually engineer it through the immense power of your choices. So let's just start with this incredibly sharp question, because it forces us to get real. Is your goal an active pursuit, or is it just a passive wish? I mean, really think about it. Have you truly chosen to succeed, or do you just desire it? There's a world of difference between the two. And that distinction, well, it's everything. The teaching is so clear on this. Hating where you are is not the same thing as choosing where you're going. See, one is just a feeling, right? A reaction. The other is a decision. It's a commitment that actually creates the roadmap to get you from here to there. So the big question is, how do we bridge that gap? How do we get from just desiring a different life to actually living one? Well, the whole framework is built on making what the source material calls superior pro-destiny choices. Okay, so what in the world is a pro-destiny choice? Look, it's not about what you're going to have for lunch today. It's a conscious, deliberate action that actively moves you toward your purpose. It's choosing discipline when ease is calling your name. It's choosing persistence over quitting. It's choosing to learn over just staying comfortable. These are the real building blocks you use to engineer a different outcome for your life. All right, so how do we even start making these kinds of choices? Well, think about it. You can't use an old, worn-out lap to find a brand new destination. So the very first key, according to this teaching, is to fuel your decisions with a completely different kind of input: divine wisdom. And this right here is the crucial point. The quality of your decisions is directly tied to the quality of the information you feed your mind. You know, a mindset that's been shaped by failure, by negativity, by limited thinking, it simply cannot produce a winning decision. It doesn't matter how sincere you are. So where does this superior wisdom come from? The framework points to 4 key sources. First up, scripture. Then there's what it calls word-compliant materials, which is basically books, videos, and teachings that all align with those core principles. Third, you've got to learn from mentors, people who have already gotten to where you want to go. And finally, and this one is a really big deal, the company you keep. Because who is shaping your mindset on a daily basis? And this quote, wow, it just brilliantly illustrates a hard truth from the source. You literally become the average of the people you spend the most time with. You simply cannot make choices that lead to greatness if you are soaking in an environment that doesn't value it. It's just not going to happen. Okay, let's get into the second key, because this is where the rubber meets the road. Knowing the right thing to do is one thing, but having the actual strength to do it, especially when it's tough, that's something else entirely. The source material has a name for this. It calls it the doing grace. It's described as this divine empowerment, this enabling force that turns your will into real action. It's that extra push that helps you overcome procrastination, fear, and all those old habits right when your own willpower is about to tap out. And this analogy you see here just perfectly illustrates how it works. Think of grace as rain. It's falling everywhere for everyone, but you have to make the choice to put your bucket outside, right? You're not going to collect any water by leaving your bucket in the house, hoping it magically fills up. This shows it's a partnership. Divine provision requires our active participation. You know, the Apostle Paul's words capture this idea perfectly. Grace doesn't make our effort unnecessary, it makes our effort effective. So it's not about grace instead of work. It's about grace empowering our work to produce results that go far beyond our own natural ability. So let's recap. We have the fuel, that's wisdom, and we have the engine, that's grace. So the next logical question is, where do we drive this thing? Well, the framework gets super specific here, identifying 4 critical areas of life where these empowered choices are going to have the biggest impact. And here they are, the 4 pillars. Number 1, choosing to be spiritually vibrant, not just going through the motions. Second, choosing to build a superior belief system, which means you actively fight the mindsets that have been holding you back. Third, the choice to not just exist, but to actually discover and fulfill your unique purpose. And finally, the conscious choice to be physically healthy and strong, because let's be honest, your body is the vehicle for your entire journey. So at the end of the day, the ultimate takeaway is this. The victories you admire in other people's lives are almost never an accident. They are engineered. They are the direct result of a series of deliberate, empowered, pro-destiny choices made day after day,
all built on a foundation of wisdom and powered by grace.
And that leads us to the final question. And this isn't for some philosopher, this is for you, right now. Your life today is the sum total of all your past choices. So, knowing everything we've just covered, what is the one superior choice you are going to make today to start engineering the future you actually want?